So we just went live. Let me just confirm it with the audience, and then we'll get the show started.
Hello, audience.
So, all right. So we got confirmation that the audio and video is working, right?
All right.
Okay. All right, guys. This is Ty Zen again. Today I am on a roll. So thanks to my bad scheduling skills, I scheduled 3 interviews today. So with me today, guys, right, we have a special guest, right? His name is Dave Levine, right, from davelevine.com. He's a cryptocurrency investor. I was looking at different cryptocurrency channels on YouTube, ran across his, and he had some interesting thoughts and opinions and commentary on cryptocurrency. So I invited him on our channel, so that you guys will know about his channel, and maybe it's something that you guys would be interested in. Say hello, Dave.
Hello. And I put the davelevine.com. There's nothing at davelevine.com. It's just an easier way to get a link to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The name Cryptocurrency Revolution Updates. If you can remember that on YouTube, you can find it out. But yes.
So first of all, Dave, I am broadcasting right now from the awesome city of Dallas in the state of Texas. Where are you broadcasting from today?
I am in Playa Vista, Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh man, that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, I love it here. If you have kids, you cannot beat where I am. It's fabulous.
So I'm looking to move down there, actually, hopefully by the end of this year, early next year. I'm shopping for a house over there, either in Orange County or North County, San Diego, right? So so that's awesome. Okay, so hey, I ran across your channel, and I thought it was a interesting channel. I know that you just started broadcasting about cryptocurrency investing. Before we talk about your channel and stuff, can you share with the audience about who you are, like your background, and how you discovered about Bitcoins and got into cryptocurrencies?
Okay, my background all the way from in my 20s, or just since I found Bitcoin. I mean, how far back?
Yeah, just start from your 20s, because
my original thing, when I saw the World Wide Web, I immediately was like, wow, this is a platform that's going to be big. And my thought was, I want to build a business on this platform. And I started a mall. I was selling books and watches and long distance telephone. But one product had the most sales, most traffic, highest profit margins, and that product was sex toys. So I decided to focus on that, became one of the largest distributors of adult products on the internet. I created the first affiliate program for adult products, and this is what I did for 20 years. But 20 years later, it wasn't as cool as it was in '95, especially with Amazon. No one competing against Bezos is never fun, especially in e-commerce. So I was looking to do something else. So I resigned as CEO last year. Still own it. I have a new CEO. She's doing a fabulous job, but I'm not working in it anymore. And I was like, what to do next. I was thinking online education. But meanwhile, I bought some Bitcoin when it was at around $350 after the Mt. Gox collapse. And I was looking at it here and there, like, it looks like it's something. I believe in decentralized networks, that I believe that decentralized systems usually engulf centralized ones. So when I see a decentralized money, I'm thinking, well, this could probably grow. So I bought some. And then when the bubble started taking off this year, I watched Bitcoin, went over 1,000. And I'm like, I started watching. And then at first the altcoins, I'm like, oh, this is stupid, these Me Too coins. And then I realized this is a whole industry. And they say people who, the more you study blockchain, the less you know. You have that feeling for quite a while, which is like, oh my God, this is a deep rabbit hole, and where am I going? And then I had an epiphany right around when I started this channel. I was like, this is what I should just do all the time, is study what the hell is going on. And I really felt the analogy that it's like, I made a video, I think I said it's like 1994, but now I think it's 1993 because I don't think we've had our Netscape moment. So I thought, you know, this bubble, I did okay with the last, sorry, am I going on
Dave,
too much?
No. I just want to interrupt there real quick because, you know, we may have some folks that may not know what the quote unquote Netscape moment was. So can you like share, just educate the audience here for those who are young or live outside the U.S.?
It's fine, right. I live in my little bubble here. Yeah. So so there was the internet, which was interesting. There were all these cool things. There was email, and that wasn't easy. The Netscape moment is when it becomes easy, so easy that and fun. So you had email, you had news groups, you had all these things, and they were very wonky. Then all of a sudden, so there was the web, and I believe there were browsers, but Netscape, you know what they did? You could see pictures. That's about it. Like, you could surf the web and see pictures, and everyone thought this is going to crash the internet because now it's fun. Now you go to pages, and it was easy. Just download, install. Now you can view, and so it made it from being wonky to, hey, you know, mom, you want to come look at what's on the web. So in blockchain, it's still extremely wonky. The Netscape moment could be, and also this seems bigger with different industries, but just with payments. The wallet that your mom can use and it's fun would be a Netscape moment, something that makes it simple. So anyways, I left the business anyways, doing different things. I said, you know, I'm gonna spend all my time studying, investing, and then as I learn things, make YouTube videos, which is partly selfish for me. It helps me, gets me to organize my thoughts. I didn't expect this to happen, but it forces me to actually study deeper because I'm like, well, I'm making a video, and then I end up learning more. And one thing I did expect is by getting feedback. You know, some of it is simply, you know, you're a moron and you're an idiot type of feedback. But some people have helped me discover and learn more and pointed out errors and those sort of things. So it sort of is part of the studying process. And it feeds my ego. So I think, is that my story? So I started studying, and are you frozen? Uh-oh. I don't know if I should keep talking. I do not see Tizen. Well, if I am the one who's live and he is not, I'm going to call Ty right now and see what is going on. I was talking so much that I broke it. Hello? Yeah, do you see me? I see you frozen. I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I'm on or not or what. I see a lot. I wonder if I'm on. So I'm looking at your, should I close it? Oh, so I'm on right now. Okay, he's back. All right, thank you. All right, bye. Well, I think he's back. Well, for those of you joining in, please stand by. Sorry for the interruption. This is going to hurt my ratings. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
There you are.
All right.
Hello.
Okay. All right. You hear me again?
I do. So.
Yeah. I'm not sure what just happened there. My internet, everything was working. It just got disconnected.
Okay. We're all, it seems fine on my end here.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah. So what happened was mine got disconnected for some reason. Internet was still working, but just Google Hangout got disconnected. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, where did I lose you? What are we talking about?
I'm not sure either because I saw you live, but it just got disconnected. So I think that you were talking about how. Okay. Hey, Will for upstairs said we forgive you. Just tell us how to make money. So let's get right to that. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it when people talk about that. Yeah. So, all right. So this is a cryptocurrency investing channel, trading channel, where we talk and share ideas about how we make money and stuff. So all right. So let's talk about. You said you invested into Bitcoins back during the fall of Mt. Gox, right? And you said you got your first Bitcoins around 350. Now at that time when you first got into to help out the new investors and stuff, were you scared that it was a scam or worried about it?
Time you make an investment and you don't worry and you don't, this FUD term on no uncertainty and doubt. If you don't have uncertainty and doubt, don't buy. Like that means you don't know enough. So there's always uncertainty and doubt. That's why you don't put all of your money in. I bought some. It seems like a bet. Could it go to zero? Yes. Do I have uncertainty and doubt? Of course. But like I said I like decentralized. I believe in decentralized systems and their ability to grow. And this looked cool for little I knew. So I put enough money in and I didn't start trading. I just put some money and I bought some and then sat there and watched. So you have to have uncertainty and doubt. You have to know two sides of the story. The story that it could go well is this becomes the payment system in the world. The story that goes bad is, it doesn't, and it becomes worthless. So I always had that, and I always do, whenever I buy something. But that's why I try to dollar cost average in. The way I'm looking at it too now with crypto is I like the digging for gold analogy, which is, so for example, Dash recently I discovered. So I did a lot of research and I like it. So I buy a little. I always buy enough so that if it goes down, you're happy because you're going to get to buy more at a cheaper price. And so I studied, and then that brought up, and then I made my video. I got more questions. So I dig further and I liked what I saw further. And then, so maybe then later, I'm buying more. And Stellar Lumens, I've been talking about that for a while, and we just got confirmation on some big deals with IBM. And so now it's like, okay, so now I like what I'm seeing. I see progress. So now buy more, and it's building a position. I'm kind of rambling here. Oh.
Okay, so well, hey, normally I like to ask, our guests, what their three favorite cryptocurrencies are somewhere along in the show, and you mentioned that Stellar Lumens, right? Can you talk about what it is, what it does, and what makes it one of your favorite?
Yes. So, and I'm making a video within a day or two. I already have the notes. I'm going to make it shortly on Stellar Lumens because it just was in the news big. So one of the litmus tests I always use is who is the leader? Who's in charge and what is their history? I've learned that winners win, like Elon Musk, whether it's a car or a rocket, he does a good job. If Steve Jobs, whether it's a phone or a movie or a computer, the guy's a winner, So I look for people who just consistently do well because that's a good place to put your money. Jed McCaleb, who started Lumens Stellar Network, the reason I liked him was he got into distributed networks, built one of the first file sharing systems. This eDonkey was huge. Then he saw Bitcoin. He thought there was a need for an exchange. So he created Mt. Gox, became one of the biggest exchanges. Then he sold it to the guy who ran it into the ground. Then he started Ripple. He didn't like the direction it was going, so he forked it to create Stellar. And then you look at the success Ripple's had, and now I just learned a lot more. And I mean, Stellar ate their lunch at the swell meeting. Oh my God, was that unbelievable. Anyways, so then I said, okay, so is this guy, he's 3 for 3 so far, right? With eDonkey, Mt. Gox. So what's the chances that Stellar does all right? To me, that's one litmus test. So now what Stellar is, I mean, now that's a long story. I don't know if you want how much detail you want me to go into, but it's a distributed, they're trying to be a payment processing system. Okay. So now this deal with IBM. So basically IBM wants to have a thing where a farmer has a deal with the buyer, and there's a contract on the blockchain along with money, and then eventually the money gets sent between these two places in different parts of the world, could be Africa and China. And the system they're going to use to transfer the money is going to be the Stellar network, which is just like a ledger that trades, and then they have their own coin, the Lumens XLM, which is used to broker when you have two unconnected, some small token in South Africa wants to trade with, another token in Eastern Europe. They can use XLM, the Lumen, as the bridge to make to trade, because the person with the currency in Africa will have some lumens, and the person in Europe will have some lumens, and they use that to trade between each other.
Okay. So it's a payment network, and if they're partnering up with IBM, that's a huge deal. That's not, IBM is not gonna put their name on something that is just bullshit.
They're not just putting their name on. They're not putting their name on it. Yeah. They're building a system for transferring money around the world. And what the light bulb for me there regarding, that's what sort of Ripple's trying to do by going to each bank. But who's better to get your payment systems to communicate with the blockchain, Ripple or IBM? So, and not only that, I wonder who check all of Ripple's customers. I bet they all have IBM computers running their payment systems. I mean, I don't know. An interesting, this is where I say about digging deeper. So the next thing I would like to dig is literally what percentage of payment processing computers are already run by IBM? Maybe IBM, they're huge and everything, but when it comes to payment processing, they're not that big. That would be different than they're already doing it. Now they just have to convert to this new system. That would mean it's going to happen a lot faster, because that's the big question. How long does it take to IBM to build this stuff and send volume to Stellar? But I could listen. I'm making a video on it tomorrow, so it's all on the top of my head, and it goes on. The good news goes on and on with this thing.
Okay, so besides Stellar, what are your two other holdings or cryptos that you like?
I like Ethereum and Dash. You want me to go into those, or why? And
well, Ethereum and Dash, I think everybody knows what they are, but could you share your thoughts and your opinions on why you think, why you like it?
Yeah, another litmus test. One thing I've learned through my years is the people who make the real money are when you put your money or in your investment into one thing and you're in it for 10 years and it grows for 10 years. And in 10 years, it's still a leader. That's where the big money is. And the trading, listen, that's just not for me. So anyways, that's what I'm looking for. So for this, so when I look at Ethereum, is Ethereum going to be around? And in this space, 5 years might be enough right now to predict that something will be around. Like Ethereum is a platform and lots of businesses are getting on it. Now, if in the long run, no one's able to create valuable businesses on top of Ethereum, that would be a problem, but that's coming. So they have probably the biggest team. I usually prefer to invest in platforms or businesses rather than just a pure coin, because I feel like a coin becomes a commodity. So Ethereum is just a platform. I love platforms, and they are the biggest. They're growing fast. They have an awesome team, great scaling. I don't see that thing getting smaller.
Okay, and could you share with the audience what your view of a platform is?
Okay, so a platform is something that you build.
I think that we're getting feedback from somewhere. Is it from my side or is it from your side?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll mute my microphone and we'll just mute it each time we talk. I'll mute back. Yeah.
Okay. So a platform is something that you build on top of. So, for example, Facebook is an advertising platform because you build your advertising campaign on there. So who makes more money? The companies that are good at marketing on Facebook or Facebook, right? Same thing. You can say the same with pay-per-click. Who makes more money? All the companies who are really good making money on pay-per-click or Google. And you're able to, Microsoft was one of the first big platforms. It's just an operating system, and then Windows, and then people could build programs that work in Windows. So Microsoft is the platform. And so who was bigger? Companies that built programs on top of the Microsoft platform or Microsoft. And same with the phone. The Android is a platform for all the apps that are on your phone. So I like platforms is sort of usually a good investment if you pick one that grows and people build on, as opposed to a coin, which is just that sort of simple technology. It just seems like it can be commoditized. What that means is one coin, like they have like, and some of these, listen, to up to this point, I've been wrong. It's just, you know, I don't have to invest in everything. Litecoin has done fabulous, and then Privacy Coin. Like, what is the value? It's just, well, it's a coin that can move around. But in the long run, won't there be a lot of coins that can just move around? So I don't know how you protect your value there. And won't eventually Ethereum be a coin that has value that you can move around everywhere? Like, so then it's like a coin.
You know, it's our belief that there's going to be more than one coin. So there's going to be more than one token that will be used around the world.
Well, I've done some research on this, and I have determined that there are going to be 732 million coins.
Okay, okay. I mean, you're throwing out
a long tail of small ones and a few big ones, but I believe that we're going to just see there's a token for everything. The other thing I like, and I don't know that I have any yet because I don't know that anything has launched, is I like businesses that use the token inherent, like in order for the business to run. So
that's interesting that you say that, because we just, right before you came on, we just did a show about the decentralized. So we take on our channel, we take all the cryptocurrencies and we categorize them into different buckets. So for example, like we take, you know, like Monero, Zcash, Pivot, Particle, you know, Zcash, coins like Zencash. We take those and we put them in the privacy coin bucket. We take like MadeSafe, Sia Coin, Storage Coin, Filecoin, Golem, and things like that. And we put them in the distributed computing bucket. Okay, so with the show that we just did right before you came on, right? We did an episode on explaining what is the decentralized social media and a content creation bucket. Okay, and there's a project that's coming out right now called the propsproject.com, right? And it's spelled just like you hear, propsproject.com. And it's built by a company called younow.com. And they're like the first mobile live streaming platform that was created where you can live stream on the phone, right? A lot of people are doing live stream videos now, but they were like the first ones to do that. And they are actually building the props token so that you can actually use it. And it's required to operate their platform, right? And because they were using it in their old platform called younow.com, and now they're migrating all that and using a cryptocurrency token, right? So where if somebody's watching me or you right now and they like us, they can hit the like button and it'll actually reward us with their props tokens. And then we can convert that to Bitcoins at the exchange and then into US dollars. Whereas right now, they only use it on their platform only, and you can only exchange it inside the network. And then using cryptocurrencies, it allows them to migrate that value outside the network into the fiat world. You know,
I'm not sure I followed 100% of that, but for me, as a simple example of a coin that used to run a network would be that, like you mentioned, the storage distributed computer power. So I have space on my computer, and someone could use it in exchange for a token, and it's a unique token to this system. And so I could see those having value, but my understanding so far is that none of these have really launched yet. I love like Golem, and what you were talking about sounds great, you know, and the content and getting paid. Like, I'm sure something happens in that space, but like I think you said with this one, it's launching, right? Or has it launched yet?
Right now, the thing about it, the thing that I got our interest about it was because it has 40 million registered users already, and they're doing 2 million in sales, and they've been in business for 6 years. And they have over 50 employees.
The token part of it, that's not launched yet, or it's launched?
No, the cryptocurrency token is not launched, right. But the token that they currently use on their platform right now has already been used for 6 years. Okay. So they do have a token system.
Right, so I see what you're saying, right? I do distinguish, right? It's not right. Some things have never launched, like Golem looks awesome, but like we've never seen anything like that. So who knows when that'll launch? There's some companies, and I found this one casino I kind of liked, and it's probably stupid to invest in these sort of things, but it's so early. But like with what you're saying, so they've been in business and now they're launching. Same thing with Omisego. I like them too because they've been a processor. They've been in business for a while. Now they're just extending what they already do in crypto. So I feel like that is a better chance than completely.
And I think that moving forward into the world of cryptocurrencies, Dave, I think that a lot of people are jumping in, right? That are businesses that already use some type of token in their business to run their business. Like, for example, like in America, we have Chuck E. Cheese pizza, and it's like it's a place where people can go, families can go eat pizza, and they buy these tokens that are used inside the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant for arcade games, for video games, for prizes, and different things like that. I see, and that's in the real world. But online, there are different businesses that use similar tokens that are digital. And once they understand about cryptocurrencies, like this company called YouNow.com, and I think that now they realize that if we migrate it and replace those tokens, those in-house tokens, with a cryptocurrency token, now it has a fiat value outside of their company and outside of their network.
Right. So I think what you're saying is, they're already using a token, so now they have better technology to
exactly.
And so one thing with that, that's true, and it does add value. But one thing that I remember is that the companies in the future that are going to be the biggest and the most exciting are the ones that could never have existed before blockchain. So I remember when the web started, it was very exciting that look at FedEx. You can get the tracking number online, and it was like, wow, this is awesome. And this creates convenience for FedEx and adds value. But the biggest company was something. So back when the web first invented, I don't think anyone was saying, oh my God, someday they're going to have social apps and we're going to like scroll through our newsfeed. Like you had no idea this was coming. That's sort of the big things that nothing, but what you're saying too, it could be plenty of value. It just,
I believe this right now. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have been around since 2009, but the biggest problem is that it's not user-friendly, and outside of trading and investing and doing ICOs and things like that, there's still a lot of confusion when people come into the cryptocurrency world as to how to acquire a token and how to acquire their first cryptocurrency. It's still a huge roadblock, and when our team when we went up to New York City to test their software, one of the things that was a really big light bulb moment for me is, and this is something I've been looking for, Dave, is a project where you use the cryptocurrency technology, but you never see it. That's the key. If somebody can come up with something where people use the blockchain technology, but they never realize that they're using it, it just looks normal.
That's what I like with the Dash. I mean, that's sort of the Dash.
Yeah. And that's why our team likes Dash too. We went out there just a few weeks ago to their London conference to review their project and their conference. So and that's why projects like that, the projects that eliminate the need to even know what a cryptocurrency or a blockchain is, those are the projects, in our opinion, are going to be the ones that have the biggest chance of succeeding and gaining mainstream adoption for blockchain technology. And we believe that since they already have 40 million users, right, and they're trading these tokens right now to give people likes and status and giving people love and everything on their platform, once they switch the underlying technology to a cryptocurrency blockchain-based token, the users on top never even realize it's happening.
Yeah.
So that's where we see that, But back to what you were saying earlier, right? So you like Stellar, you like Ethereum, and then you like a Dash, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, and I'm sort of I don't believe in I used to believe, but I don't anymore, in this whole just buy a bunch of stuff and diversify. Yeah, but I like what Warren Buffett says, and this is not a quote, which his sort of thing, and I'm paraphrasing here, is know your shit and then bet big on the best. And and it's sort of like, and so for something like this where it's so new and most people don't know anything, I'm spending all day studying it, and I've been sort of in something related. You know what? When I think something's the best, it's I probably, you know, and I think something else sucks. Like I like Ethereum and I don't like waves, you know, like I shouldn't just, well, I'll just buy some wave in case I'm wrong. Like, am I an idiot? What am I doing all day studying? Like so and I see a lot of this. There's a lot of not studying that deeply and people just spreading thin. So I did spread myself a little thin, but not as thin as most people. But lately, the more I've studied, the more I'm just coming back to. Those are the ones that just keep coming back. You know, Stellar, I've been a long time holder, but this news now is like, I mean, to me, and that thing is not, the market cap is only 500 million, Stellar. So anyways, I'm like, to just keep building a big position, and theoretically in the future, you know, if you have enough, you could be a proof of stake on Ethereum, a master node on Dash, Stellar. I looked into anchoring. I don't think there's a business there for me. You probably gotta be a bank, but you know, I feel like it's better to dig in deep in just a few that I really believe in than trying to find the next, you know, the next something. I keep my eyes open, and of course something may come around, but I think there's this desire. Everyone's trying to find the next, and which
the next
is fine.
Ethereum.
You should play around with that, but I think most of your money should be in the one that at least is not going to zero.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so, you know, I always like to ask people when we interview them, you know, like about the mistakes that they've made, and if they can share their mistakes with the audience. You know, when I originally came across your channel, it was a new channel, and I thought that maybe you were new to cryptocurrency investing, but you mentioned that you bought Bitcoins back before during the crash of Mt. Gox, which means you've been around for a while investing in crypto. You just started the channel, but you've been a long time crypto investor then.
You know, I appreciate that you call that a long time, but and that may be more telling.
You're a veteran. You're a veteran. You know?
Yeah, so it's 2000. What was it? 2014. You know, it was invented in 2009. But I remember when I found the web in late 1994. The web had already been in existence for a year, but the Netscape had only launched, like, I don't know how much before. Anyways, I thought I was late. You know.
Yeah.
So we are
no one has ever felt
in this. We are early. What's that?
Yeah, no one has ever felt. No one that we have ever spoken to said that they got in early enough. Even, you know, a few episodes ago, we talked to a guy named 15 Cent Joe, right, from New York City, and we call him 15 Cent Joe because he bought his first Bitcoins when they were around 15 cents. Even then, he said, I didn't get in early enough because, you know, it was around 5 or 6 cents when it started trading on Mt. Gox back in 2010, I think it was. You know, I mean, this is a guy I got in at 15 cents.
I did see the Ethereum white paper, and I saw people talking about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I didn't go that deep into it. And then he was kind of saying it's just, I remember something came out, it's going to work with Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, Bitcoin's just the platform for Ethereum. So then I'm like, I don't care. That's great for Ethereum, but it's just working off of, I thought it was an extension of Bitcoin, which adds more value to Bitcoin. So I'm like, I don't care about Ethereum. And I ignored it, you know, until
yeah. It's funny how you say that. It's funny how you say that you like to invest in people. Like you said, McCaleb, the guy that started Mt. Gox, and then he went and started Ripple, and then he went and started Stellar. You know, we were the first cryptocurrency investing channel back in 2014 that we know of to interview Vitalik about Ethereum. Like, we brought it, you know, to the cryptocurrency investing community. There was other tech channels that were talking about him, but we specifically interviewed him and talked to him about the project, and we invested into the Ethereum ICO. And back then, I didn't even know what smart contracts were. I didn't know, like, you know, 99% of the stuff I know today. But there was one thing I did know, was that this 19-year-old kid was up there talking, and there were professional software engineers in the audience that he was running around them in circles, you know, and they were like oohed and awed by him. And when we got home, I told my business partners, I said, we're investing in this guy. Whatever it is he's building, we're investing into him.
I had a friend in school when I was in elementary school, and he always was the smartest in the class and nice kid. And my parents said to him, his name was David as well, David, when you want to start a business in the future, you come to us, we'll invest. Well, sure enough, 5 years later, he came. He's building something multimedia. We didn't know what that word was. And, you know, said, you want to invest? They said no. It ended up selling out to eventually bought by Adobe. And, you know, because it was just invest in the person, but they didn't understand the project. But anyways, yeah, so investing in the people. Another thing I look for is what is the business model? And that's my thing for Dash is this idea of having not all the money go to the miners and just, if nothing else, 10% going to fund marketing and development, and they do a couple other things. And it turns out just 10% is a huge amount of money. And it creates this amazing exponential viral machine, this a truly decentralized, it's not just a decentralized organization, it's a decentralized, highly motivating and rewarding system. Like, you know, they're getting tons of money to do more, which makes them make more money. I don't know.
It's just like a perpetual, to me, Dash is like a perpetual marketing machine, right? Because they got money come in and market their project and keep going endlessly because they're getting that portion.
Right? You know, in a sense, Bitcoin is the same thing. It's just it all goes to miners, and it's like, you know, but it sort of has this thing where it feeds on itself. But Dash, it is really feeding on itself too. Yeah. But it's really small. It's only 6,000 transactions a day. But if they can sort of maintain, you know, I don't, you know, we'll see what the next launch is, and so I watch it. But I love the business model, and I think. And I saw the CEO Ryan said this, blockchains are going to copy their model and start having a percentage go to fund, you know, a treasury. Like, eventually they may all have that.
Once we have time to get a technical development team, we might copy them. Hey, man, you know, I'm a firm believer that, hey, you copy what works. You don't go copy what doesn't work. You know? So, hey, since you've been around for a while, you know, in the crypto world, investing in the crypto world, right? What are like 3 mistakes that you made that can benefit our audience, you know, that you wish that you wouldn't have made that lost you bucket loads of money or time?
Well, I'll tell you, if you know, my thing is if you want to take a bigger view, not just mistakes I've made in the last 6 months, but, you know, I've been through 3, this being the 3rd bubble. I was intimately involved in the internet bubble. My mistake there was, I remember, it was similar thing in that most companies are stupid. I could point out things my friends called me about this stock, and I looked it up, and it wasn't a real company, but they didn't care because they bought it at 2, and now it's at 5, and it's going to whatever, and now it's at 0. You know, and I remember there being so much stupid stuff. I said, this is not for me. I don't invest in things like that. And one mistake I realized is, you know what? I don't have to be the first one to leave the party. Like, yeah, some of it was stupid, but, you know, it went on for 5 years, and I could have done more with marketing and lost money, and I wanted to make a profit every year. And I learned that when it's a party, go with it for a minute. And the other thing is just that, you know, what really happened, that whole internet bubble, I mean, there's a few sort of internet companies that survived, but it's basically Amazon. I mean, that was it. If you know, would I have had the intelligence to make one of my long-term bets Amazon and hold it? And even if you bought it at the top of the bubble, it was at 100, you know, and today it's at 1,000. So no matter what, you were good. You know, would I pick? And that's what it's all about, is picking the Amazon to try to time the bubble. And I have to be the first one to leave. Yes.
Hold on. We have the audience saying they can't hear us. Can you guys still hear us and see us, guys? Just want to confirm to make sure that we didn't lose a connection like we did earlier. Okay. So, all right.
So that's what I learned in the first bubble.
Just real quick before you talk about the second bubble, right? Yeah. It's funny that when you say that when the party's going on, you know, don't be afraid of it. You know, I made a video a while back called, you know, when pigs fly, you know, don't try to figure it out, just go with it. You know, pigs can't fly, but when pigs fly, you know, don't sit there while everybody's making bucket loads of money and you sitting there wondering like, oh, you know, they're not supposed to be flying.
You know, no, but at least no. Listen, I was selling sex toys. I remember the convention in Vegas with the you know naked people with sushi on them and money falling from the ceiling, and like this was going on. I knew this wasn't going to last, but I didn't have to, I could stay and eat some sushi and grab some 20s from the sky. Like, it's fun.
Hey, so when the opportunity is there, don't sit, I always tell people, that like some of these people that have that complain about these altcoins, that they don't like it and stuff, and I'm like, dude, there's opportunities to make, bucket loads of money here. Why are you guys bitching and complaining that there's another coin? Who cares? They'll make you some money. I mean, what are you getting involved in crypto for?
But on the other hand, the old curmudgeon in me from back then still exists in that I know the music's going to stop. I don't want to get stuck, and I've lost money. And even I remember I owned Cisco, which I'm like, okay, Cisco, at least it's not an internet stock. I know it's going to be around, so I sold some of it near the top, which ended up being worth, 300% more than what it fell to. So Cisco was at, I don't know, I'm guessing 150, right? And, today it's at 30. So even though it's going to be around, so you can get killed in these things. But so you got to be aware.
The key here is this, that this is a belief that we have on our team, on our trading team here, on our channel, is that yes, bubbles happen. People always like, oh, this is a bubble. Like, no shit. Because something goes from 6 cents to $6,000, you're damn right it's a bubble. Of course it's a bubble, right? But the thing is that people always say that as if it's new. We live in a capitalistic society where capital is going to be used to drive businesses, companies, innovations, products, services to go up, and down. That's like saying that the sun is hot, or the snow is cold. Like, no shit, it's hot and it's cold, right? The thing is, how do you make money when the market is shooting up from 6 cents when it first started trading on Mt. Gox to where it's at today, when it broke a record high of $6,000?
Right. But I think at this point, I would start getting, I remember from the second bubble, one thing, I remember someone on CNBC, they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting small. And I remember thinking, all I could think of was Steve Martin's comedy routine. I want to get really small, What the hell does that mean? And it's like, when you're in all these far-flung and risky and all this stuff, when stuff starts hitting shit hits the fan, if you've got leverage, you don't want to have that. You want to have less. You want to just have the smallest you could be would be just a bunch of tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, not in an exchange. So at this point, it's been so crazy. I worry. Basically, when the music stops, liquidity could dry up in a second, especially on the fringes. So, and now this has been going on for a while. I see people with 15, 20 tokens. Now it sounds like you've got a team there and traders, and you're not a 19-year-old. Fine.
No, we're not.
I see young kids.
We come
tokens. They're never mind losing and trading. They're gonna literally lose the private key. Like, how are people keeping track of these things? And then if the markets start going, liquidity starts drying up, you could get really caught with your pants down. So you have to be very careful in this.
We are
dollar cost averaging in is the way to go. But so mistakes I've made. That was one. With the second mistake. So the housing bubble. First of all, I didn't understand the leverage thing. I'm like, people like it's a bubble. It's gonna fall 20%. I'm like, so what? Internet bubble fell 80%. What's 20? Well, when people only have capital of 10% and it falls by 20, they're underwater by they're underwater. Everyone's bankrupt. So kind of didn't see that coming. And so I also saw how everybody has leverage. So why not? I actually had, and so I didn't need to borrow, but I actually had more borrowed than I needed. So that bubble, that was like if surfing. The first surf wave, I rode it. I was okay. The second wave, I basically went head over heels. Now this third wave, so far I'm doing good. I guess my mistakes have been a little bit with timing in that. I mean, I did the Ethereum thing. I was a little late, not that late. I mean, on a little under 200, I sort of figured it out. And the Bitcoin, at the beginning, I was like, oh, these altcoins are crazy. Just stay in Bitcoin. Just please, you're wasting your time. And then I saw, okay, there is value other places, and I got off that bandwagon. But at the same time, just holding Bitcoin, you know, at least for the last several months, was probably the best investment, you know, out there. And I sold off partly too because it's the only thing liquid. When I wanted to buy these other things, it's hard to get money in. It's like, and the Bitcoin's up so much. So one mistake I've made was sort of getting out of the Bitcoin thing. I don't love the Bitcoin story. Like for me, the key to surviving when prices crash and not bailing and freaking out or just losing sleep is you have to really believe in the story. And so the Bitcoin thing is like a little bit of I'm not, so I sold out of it. Yeah.
So you said that you survived the internet crash and then you survived the real estate crash, right? Let's just say, for example, right, that Bitcoin shoots to $10,000. Well, what is your strategy then? Like you're old enough to live through two major bubbles already. So now let's just say that, you know, Bitcoin runs up to 10,000. Are you still going to hold? Are you going to sell some to take profits?
My strategy, whether Bitcoin goes to 10,000 or to zero, my strategy is the same, which is I am trying to acquire more. Now, I'm always studying and learning new, and I may change, you know, I may change my opinions, but as long as I keep studying, I keep liking what I'm seeing, I'm trying to buy more and more Ethereum just over the months and acquire a bigger position. And if I spread it out over time, if it goes up, great, I've been buying it. If it crashes tomorrow, well, I haven't spent all my money because I plan on keep buying. So to build a position in the three I like, Lumens, Dash, and Ethereum, keep my eyes open and build that position over time. If prices go down, hopefully I'll buy more. If prices shoot up to 10,000, sometimes I'll slow down because it's going up so much, you know. But in the long run, you want to get in every month, build those positions, period.
So I just want to throw this at you and let's see what your response is to it, right? Or what your thoughts on this, right? There are a group of people out there that argue that, okay, instead of getting into Bitcoin, they'd rather take that money and get it into a cheaper altcoin. Like, for example, like if you put $5,000 into Stratus last year, in the fall of last year, that $5,000 would have become over $1 million. If you put $5,000 into Ant shares last fall, that would have become grow into $1 million, and both of those would have happened in less than 12 months. You could have taken, you know, a $5,000 investment back then if you got into Stratus or into Ant shares, which has been rebranded into Neo.
So what months was that getting in? When was that?
So that was like around, I think, like September, the fall of last year. You know, around the September.
So in the fall of last year, it would have been a good idea to get into those things. You would have certainly made money. And that was a different world. You know, does that mean that this sort of euphoria will continue in new unknowns, or will those old unknowns run again, or whatever? At the end of the day, it comes down to picking winners. The reason, I mean, you can go into the ideas of why things rose and this and that, but I mean, the revelation that happened now almost a year ago was we all used to think, well, there's Bitcoin and that's all there is. And then all of a sudden, to the masses, Vitalik figured this out a long time ago, but to most of us, it was like, oh, this is a platform, and there can be multiple platforms and different coins with different features, and there's all these opportunities, and some are good. And we went from zero to whatever. And some of these will come back to zero soon. Some will come back to zero in 5 years. Some will just stay flat for a long time. And, you know, and some is the next Amazon. So, you know, just chasing, when you say cheaper, like, is it better? You know, I mean, price matters. If something is way better, but it's less, you know, if something is expensive, but it's the best by far, well, then, you know, Google stock is not the cheapest stock, but it's still pretty good. So you know, I don't go by cheap, but I think what you're talking about is, can you find the next thing shoot up? And personally, to me, Stellar, Lumens, of all of them, there you have one at 2 cents, market cap. Sorry, now it's 3 cents. Market cap of only 500 million. Their competitor Ripple has a market cap of 8 billion. And I'm sorry, but I think Stellar's eating Ripple's lunch. So, I mean, could that thing go up by 300x in a minute? I think so. But will it? I don't know. If it doesn't, at least I have IBM and Jed McCaleb holding my money. You know, so you know, a lot of the rise, that sudden rise, wasn't as much about that these companies are awesome. It was just sort of the mental, you know, realization and people throwing money at places, and that can change. So, you know, you don't, whatever worked last year probably isn't what works this year, you know, and,
Okay.
but sometimes actually the same thing goes on. It's like, who knows? So what, as far as that way of making money, and that's just not my thing, you know.
Yeah.
I you know, like I said, it's just, I'm looking for something, you know, and so a lot of these things that go from nothing, or they're really, really cheap, it's because they haven't launched yet, and it's because it's just an idea, and it's like, well, it sounds awesome, but there's a big difference between the white paper and what actually launches, and, you know, can they execute and launch on time? And I've had ideas myself. Sorry.
You know, like, you know, the majority of businesses fail after the first year. So when we take our investing approach and when we coach our investing clients, right, we normally teach that you never know. You never know which one is going to go to zero and which one is going to become the next Stratus or the next Ethereum, right? So we have our clients making small bets on each one, but we do the due diligence, like you say, you know, on each company. And then we don't ever recommend any of our clients or any of our, you know, followers or subscribers, anything like that, or viewers, like, you know, put all their eggs in one basket. Warren Buffett, like you said, mentioned earlier, he believes in doing that. One of the things that, and this is just our opinion, is that, you know, Warren Buffett is not a guy that has made his money in the internet and cryptocurrency boom. You know, he comes from an old school, you know, investing. Now, some of the risk management that he uses, we do employ that, you know, like the risk management skills, the position sizing and things like that, that the old school traders and investors use, that has been proven to work for centuries, that we still employ. But as far as, like, you know, analyzing and researching the new cryptocurrency businesses and the new cryptocurrency projects, you know, we're always cautious about, you know, paying attention to the guys. Like I would pay attention to what you say about a cryptocurrency over Warren Buffett any day. Because you know why? Because you're in the heat of the battle. You're in the game. You're in the gladiator's pit.
Yes, but you know? Always pay attention to anything Warren Buffett says. And he doesn't say, he probably says, when he talks to him about Bitcoin, he's probably says, I don't know anything about it, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, one of the things too I think about are, you know, to maybe have an analogy, I feel like I'm like more of a venture capitalist, in that I like to see a business that's already up and running, has a track record. And to me, I'm like, okay, because that's something I can analyze. Yeah. A lot of what goes on when you talk about these businesses that haven't even launched yet, I think that's more of angel investing, which some people have done successfully. You know, it's just not for me. I don't know how you predict whether it's going to be successful when it's at the angel investing stage. One of the attractions to angel investing in the history is you could get in with very little money. But with this new cryptocurrency world, I can do my venture capital. I can put in $1,000 only if I want. You know, I don't have to put up $1 million. So I think, and I see a lot of, you know, you're obviously sophisticated. You do research. You talk to people. But I see a lot of young kids, you know, they think they're angel investors, and I'm like, you know.
No, they're not. Like we come from a team of background. We traded heavily in the stocks, options, forex, and futures market long before we got into crypto. Like the reason why I invested I bought my first Bitcoin not because it was a currency. It was because I saw that it was a significantly better clearing and settlement technology than what was currently used on Wall Street. And I would not have known that if I hadn't been trading stocks and futures and forex and be in that arena on the Wall Street side already. You know what I'm saying?
Well, with your experience, why don't you figure out what the hell IBM and Stellar are doing and let me know? Because I don't know that much about payment platforms. What percentage of banking computers are with IBM, and what, you know, if you have with that background, or maybe you know somebody. That's the other thing with research that I do is a little different on YouTube. I have people talking about Omisego and now they're taking over the world, and I agree, and I own some. But it's like they had this big thing. They're, maybe with McDonald's, they're going to be launching. Well, they have an agreement to build it with McDonald's, but I have someone who I've worked with who lives in Thailand. I had him go to the website and order McDonald's online. You can't buy with cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You mentioned that you more of a VC investor, right? You like to invest like a venture capitalist, and you like to see businesses that are growing, has customers, has money.
There's some metrics I can watch, growth rate. Yeah.
I would recommend that you go look at the company called YouNow, spelled just like you hear it, YouNow.com, and look at their propsproject.com. Okay? And look at that, because they are a company that's in business, and it's like the first.
Is this the one you were telling me about earlier? Yeah. But they already used a token, and they're going to launch. Yeah, they're going to launch in November. They're going to do the ICO in November.
Last I checked, it was like in mid or late November, right? I would recommend that you take a look at that, because if you say that, hey, I like to look at projects that it's already making money, it's already in business.
Well, see, the thing is, and I was making an exception, like with Omisego, because they're in business, but they haven't launched their blockchain thing yet. And now I'm screwed, right? Because it turns out I thought it was launching in September, so why not buy now? To the moon, baby Lambos. But it turns out it hasn't launched. I don't know when it's launching. Maybe they're going to launch in a year. If that's the case, I don't think this OMG is moving anywhere, and I have no information. So even now, because of that experience with the YouNow, I would want to wait until it launches the blockchain feature. Otherwise, I'm just investing in a company that may be great too, and I don't know. It's like, I only get so much time in the day to investigate. So that's one of my filters.
Well, one of the things that we do, and we have a policy moving forward, is that before we make a big investment into any project, we are going to have boots on the ground and go and investigate their company, talk to their employees, talk to their engineers, see what they're about, talk to their CEO, talk to their founders. And if they don't give us access, then, we're not going to get into it, Just like, for example, like I was normally our policy on our channel is that we don't believe shit in cloud mining, because I used to work at a Bitcoin mining farm. That's how I found out about Bitcoin. I worked at an energy brokerage firm in Dallas that was setting up a Bitcoin mining farm, and so I'm not a big fan of that. They had to shut it down, after a few years, because, it was not profitable to mine Bitcoins in Texas, right? So because of that, I don't recommend, cloud mining or any type of mining to our viewers. And when a trusted colleague of mine, broadcasting colleague of mine recommended I look at Genesis cloud mining, before we made any comments on it or anything, we sent our team out there to Iceland and to go and inspect their facility. We looked on their map, on Google Maps. We went there. There was no building there. We're not saying that they're a scam or a fraud or anything. We reached out to multiple people before our team went out there, and we never got a response back from anyone, right? So, and then finally, after we went out there and came back, and we found out that there was no Genesis facility there that was indicated by Google Maps, right? We finally got a response from their customer service saying that there's no public tours available.
Right.
So, we're one of those. That's good. We're one of those channels that, hey, before we invest into something big, we want to go out there and talk to the people.
And the same another way to monitor as well. There's this one CSNO. It's this BitDice. It's a gambling site. It looks cool to me, and I liked it, but I'm like, I don't know. So you know what? I bought a little bit, and they're supposedly going to pay dividends of X amount of their revenue. And what is it going to be? Well, and it's sort of the same thing with 10X, and that's another story. But anyways, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put a lot. I just put a little bit to see how much I start getting in dividends. If it's a good rate, then I can buy more. And 10X too, the formula that they use for payout, apparently, according to them, is wrong on the white paper, which is linked from their homepage. And you can't get a straight answer from anyone on what the thing is and when they're going to do a payout. But someday there'll be a payout. So maybe, you buy $10 worth of 10X and you see if there's ever a dividend and how much it is. And if it's something, then you buy. You don't have to be the first one in all these things. Sometimes, the more you can see a track record, the more chance you have of being right.
Hey, let's talk about. We're coming to the end of the hour here. Let's talk about your channel. Your channel on YouTube. Your website is called DaveLevine.com, and then from there they can go to.
DaveLevine.com is just a webpage that points to it. The channel, but I may change the name because it's too long. Yeah. Cryptocurrency Revolution Updates. But if you go to DaveLevine.com, it points to it. And I'm really just trying, like literally, I research something. And then I get all my ideas, and then I go through what I learned. I'm just telling people my opinion. I'm somewhat popular for when I trash coins. You know, when Neo was at 50, I made a video. This was before I knew my audience, and I did less research than I do now because people went crazy. I started my video, "Don't buy Neo. This thing is crazy." You know, oh my God, I got 100 thumbs down in about 3 minutes.
That was like the biggest.
I thought it was helping people. I didn't understand the audience.
That was the best and the biggest crypto trade that I have ever made in my entire lifetime. That thing went over 30,000. That thing went over 30,000% gains. It grew over 30,000%. So if you're telling people that's a bad crypto, boy, you are going to get some heat for that, Dave.
And it was literally the day it hit 50. Like it doesn't even show it on the chart. It shows 48. Like, so anyways, sometimes I come out and I'm like, this thing is a joke, you know, and sometimes I'm a bit of an asshole. I don't mean to, but you know, so, and I review coins and I'm just trying to share as I go. And it's very fun. And I love the feedback. It's very helpful for me. And I'm trying to originally I was going to do one video a week, but I'm kind of into it. Now I feel like I'm committed. I'm trying to do every day almost. And I just made one for BitConnect, and then I'm going to do my Stellar one next on why I like that. Yeah, and then so it's fun for me actually. I love it. So please watch.
I want to let the audience know too while we're chatting here with Dave. You know, if you guys have any questions for Dave, you know, we'll start taking questions from the audience. Also include the city that you're from also, because I'm always curious, you know, where people are listening in from, right? So if you have any questions for Dave, you know, just put it in the chat box, and I'll ask Dave, you know.
I go through all my comments also on my videos, because like I said, I'm using this. So I ask people in videos, people comment, I go through them all. Don't worry, the people who say they hate me, I think it's hilarious. And I do respond. And so if you give me the link for this video, I'll go through the comments and answer questions later, because I thought this video was 11 a.m. West Coast time, and I did check your text. You wrote EST in the text to me. I didn't read it properly.
Yeah.
But I have a meeting that starts in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So but I love this sort of thing. I'd love to stay. But if people put comments in, if there's something in the comments, I'll come back and do it. I can come on again.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to hold you up on your next meeting. You didn't tell me that before we came online, you know. So
any questions there right now? I'm curious.
There's a question about what's your opinion on Lisk, since you're heavy into Ethereum.
I have that in a video. All of these, to me, just as a quick story, well, I'll make it short, which is Ethereum is a smart contract blockchain platform that's been up for a few years and has tons of companies flocking to it. I have a video about why I like Ethereum. I also have a video specifically about why I don't like Lisk, and there's a few others, Quantum, another, Waves. They're all sort of these Me Too ICO machine platforms that haven't launched yet. I'm not buying it. You can check out my videos. I go on and on about it. That's one of the things some people get mad at me about. And Lisk, like I said, I went into it pretty deeply on my thing. I'm not into it.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. There's a last question: is how do you store your coins in a nano ledger, and is it safe? And the answer is
I love Stellar Network in that you could just leave it on the blockchain. I like Ethereum because, again, I just leave it on the blockchain. I use the My Ether wallet to view it. Dash, I have to use the nano ledger, but someone just explained to me that even if I lose the nano ledger, I didn't lose it, because as long as I have my words. If that's true, then I don't hate the nano ledger as much as I thought I did.
Okay,
I don't want to leave any money in any exchanges. If I use an exchange, I send money there, buy it, and take it down immediately.
I'll answer that because like in our 4-day cryptocurrency investing bootcamp, we do spend 1 day on just security alone, and that's a huge issue.
Yeah, whenever you buy a token, you got to search where am I going to buy it and where am I going to store it. It's like two separate, and you make sure you store it properly.
Yeah, we feel that the nano ledger is very safe as far as we know, and we've done some, that's where we recommend.
That if I lose it, I still I could
Yeah,
still,
if you lose
if
the
I
Ledger
find
Nano,
out-
as long as, yeah, so what you want to do is when you store the Ledger Nano, it gives you a 24-word seed
Yeah.
that you create. So you store that in a safe, and then you keep the Ledger Nano separately, and then you have 2 backups of it, you know. And so if you
Okay.
lose one or it gets destroyed or for some reason, you know, and then it's also designed so that it's quote unquote tamper-proof.
Hold on. If I lost the hard drive, the physical Nano
Yeah.
thing, and I have my
Yeah.
number, can I just go on Amazon, buy another one?
Yes.
So I'll
Yes.
be fine as long as I have my
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
And
like
then
that too.
especially-
That's safe. But also, I don't know how people are stay organized and not lose this stuff too. If you have a lot of coins, like that is a whole thing. I'm sort of changing the way I've been storing. I have a new idea. I don't even want to tell people my idea because it's sort of like sometimes security is more about, well, who would ever think of looking there? You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's that impossible. Nothing's impossible. But if you have no idea of where it could possibly be, you probably wouldn't look there. So I don't even want to tell people my method, but that in your class, I hope people pay attention to that. And there goes my other meeting. Thank you, sir.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on to this show, Dave. And I look forward to seeing you in a future episode.
Thank you.
And,
yes, please invite me anytime.
All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. And if you guys like these types of videos and you guys want to learn more of it, you know, you can follow us at cryptocurrency.market / newsletter, or you follow me on Twitter at Taizen. Okay. And this is where we broadcast all our new videos and stuff. Okay. And I don't see any other questions. So this will conclude the broadcast, guys. Thank you.